If you like hacking and slashing, cutting and thrusting, chopping heads and chopping hands, combined with seamless gameplay requiring skill and strategy, then For Honor is for you. Yesterday, Ubisoft released its beta version of the hack and slash game For Honor, and the beta is going to carry on through February 12th, giving a lot of the fans and players opportunity to play pre-release version of the game prior to its February 14th release. And I got to tell you, from the first impressions of the game, it is a phenomenally fun game. If you like games that are hack and slash with a combination of strategy and teamwork and gameplay, Ubisoft's For Honor is definitely the game for you. Unlike the release of Ghost Recon Wildlands, Ubisoft let For Honor come in really under the radar. No one really heard too much about the game other than what you would pick up on YouTube or maybe on Ubisoft's channel, but the game didn't really have a lot of hype to it. Now, I have to say that this game is really fun in the first phases of it that we've been playing. Had an opportunity to get in with some friends yesterday. We jump into the multiplayer domination aspect of the game. Really fun, really got to think about strategy, really got to think about what you're doing, so we really enjoyed it. The gameplay is really fluid. The controls are fluid. One thing I did notice is that in order to really maximize your use of blocks and strategy, a controller is preferred over using the keyboard on a PC. Haven't had a chance to look at the game on the Xbox or on the PS4, but I'm really anticipating this game is going to be a big hit on either console or PC.
The desperate few struggled to survive. Perhaps we had a chance for peace. But desperation and trust are seldom allies. So began a millennium of conflict. The world has ever known. The reason they fight, lost to the ages. And yet, here they still stand, searching for a sign of peace. I will show them. I am Apollyon. I bring war.
The first thing you're going to do before you start the game is you're going to choose a faction. The game offers 3 factions to play from: Knights, Vikings, and Samurais. While each faction has unique characters in whether you have a short range fast attack character, a medium build kind of dual wielding character, or a long range character that has long standoff attacks, there's no particular advantage over one faction. However, the faction you choose will play an important part of the game. Across each platform that the game is offered on, whether it be the Xbox, the PlayStation, or the PC, your action within the faction will control and have an effect on the world that you play in, cross-platform. What you do on the Xbox will affect what happens on the PS4 and will affect what happens on the PC. Once you've chosen your faction, you can then go in and customize your faction emblem, shield, background colors. There are numerous different variations of colors and emblems and shields you can choose from to your liking. Doesn't really have an impact on a game other than the customization and the look of your character itself. Once that's completed, you're now ready to jump into the core elements of the game. Before you can jump into the main part of the game, first thing you have to do is go through a practice session. This practice session is going to help you get used to the controls of the game, whether you're using a keyboard or using a gamepad, and it's going to go through and show you how to block. Now, the game has a very unique blocking system, is that it uses 3 zones, a upper zone, a left zone, and a right zone for you to block. It also leaves an indication for your enemy that's attacking to kind of get an idea of what area he's getting ready to attack you in. So it's very, very critical that you go through this first practice session, first using the target dummies, and then you can actually go through and use a live AI to go in and practice with. This is going to get you familiar with the blocking controls as well as some of the basic attack controls. Again, as I said earlier, for me, it's more intuitive and it's simpler to use a gamepad than it is to go in and use the keyboard, for the simple fact that you can move your block zones around a lot more quicker, a lot more fluid than you can by using the keyboard. There's also some functionality and control to the type of attacks you're using, whether it's going to be a heavy attack or a light attack. That seems to be a little bit easier to control using the gamepad controller, more so than using the keyboard. The first part of this practice session, when you're going through, you're really going to get a sense of how great the game is graphically and how smooth the game is. I had the settings maxed out. The one thing I did not turn on is the super sampling anti-aliasing. Make sure you turn that off. I had a friend of mine who did turn that on, and that caused problems with his game. Actually, he had crashed to the desktop on that. I'm not certain if that's something that they're going to fix prior to the game release on the 14th, but typically with something like that, super sampling, anti-aliasing, you don't really need it, especially if you're running a GTX 1080, GTX 1070. Once you get done with the practice dummies on the practice session, then you're going to get into your first live AI combat. And this is going to, again, allow you to practice on blocking in different zones, and you're going to get that first sense of what the AI is doing as far as attacking. AI combat is not the same as human player combat, but you will really understand a lot more if you go through the tutorial. Again, I strongly recommend that you finish the tutorial because at the end of the entire basic tutorial, you'll get 2,000 stone, which is the currency of the game. You can use those 2,000 stone once you get those to upgrade your current character and actually unlock other characters that may be available to you depending on what faction you're playing. So go through the first session or the first practice session of the game at least and get used to the blocking physics, get used to the attacking physics of the game, and get used to attacking enemy and figure out how smooth the game works and how fluid the game is. Again, it is really intuitive. The controls are really simple and basic once you learn them, but this is a game definitely is going to be based on your reflexes as well as your knowledge of those skill sets. So once this is all completed, then you're going to take you into another portion of the game that's going to start talking about how you can advance the faction fields. And that's really what the game is all about. As you get into the fighting, is you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for your faction. So definitely get in and learn how to do the battles, learn how to fight the different styles of characters that you have. I haven't figured out yet if there is a counter to each player or not. I definitely know that the slower players have a tendency to have longer swings. So if you have a faster character, you can get in close and attack a lot quicker, whereas the faster characters are typically weaker and the stronger characters can 1-2 hit them and they're pretty much dead. Once you finish the hand-to-hand combat, the one-on-one combat, you're going to move into zone capture. Zone capture is going to be critical when you're playing domination or deathmatch, where this is how you advance your faction. So zone capture, the objective is similar to most other capture the flag games in that you go to a zone, you stay in a zone for long enough, and your faction captures that zone. However, the difference is here is that the game moves so quick that you're going to have other characters come in and take those zones. Another great thing about this game, and this gameplay mode is found in domination only, is that you have soldiers, AI soldiers that you're fighting, that fight right alongside with you, and obviously fight alongside your enemy. These AI characters cannot be targeted like you can a human player, and while not as strong as a human player, they can be disruptive and cause you pain, especially when a human player is caught up in the middle of them. You have to kill these guys in order to advance the zone that you're trying to capture. The character customization in the game is another unique factor of the game that really makes it stand out. You can customize your chest, your helm, your arms, your weapon. You can even go in and customize your appearance inside the game itself, although this doesn't affect the character's ability. The weapons customization in the game is very deep, allowing you to change either the blade, the hilt, or the guard of the weapon with parts and pieces that you find either on the field or again that you recover from chests that you purchase. These customizations allow you to really go in and fine-tune the weapon to the skill level that you like and increase or decrease those critical areas that you feel are important to you in battle. As you play through the game and gain more stone, you have the opportunity to open up more scavenged gear packs. You have a basic pack, an armor pack, a weapon pack, and a premium pack. These packs allow you to get higher level gear for helmet, your chest, your shoulder, or your weapons, whether you upgrade your hilt, the blade, or the guard. All in all, these customization options make the game really feel unique and allows you to customize to your liking. As stated earlier in the review, there are 3 distinct game modes you can play in For Honor: Deathmatch, 1v1 Duel, or Domination. Domination seems to be the predominant game mode that most people play in. Definitely was a game mode that I found myself with my friends playing more than not. In the Domination game mode, it is the basic capture the flag methodology, with the exception that you have minions that attack at the middle of the zone. You and your teammates must use strategy and decide which one of the 3 zone points are the most lucrative for you to catch. While this is going on, your minions and your enemy minions are fighting it out in the middle of the field. The enemy team have the choice of joining the minions in the middle of the field to capture critical zones or set up ambushes for other players as they try to battle it out in the field. All in all, this is the definite mode that I think I'll be spending a lot of my time in. Extremely fun, extremely exciting. You have to use strategy. You have to think about what you're doing, and you have to be careful. When you get into those one-on-one battles with the enemy and you think that you're about to get him, it's nothing uncommon to find his friends come from behind you and attack you from the back. Using a little bit of strategy, a little bit of gang attack. This is an awesome battle mode, and I think this is going to be the mode that really drives the game home. For Honor is a surprisingly great addition from Ubisoft, really one that's going to take the game world by surprise in my opinion. This is the type of game that you would not be surprised to see a lot of people getting online and doing some really MOBA type gameplay and seeing some good broadcasts. I'm really excited about this game. I'm excited to see what the game holds and what kind of expansions Ubisoft plans to bring to this. The game is extremely stable for a beta and the graphics are phenomenal. If you haven't had an opportunity to go out and download this game, go ahead and get it. The beta lasts until tomorrow, February 12th, with the release of the game coming out on February 14th. One downside about the game, if there's some negativity to it, is that there has been some server issues that I noticed during the beta, but hopefully Ubisoft will work those out prior to game release. For Honor is available on Steam or through the Uplay store. The basic game is $59 and the ultimate game is $99. If you are a MOBA fan or if you are a fan of massive multiplayer online games with a little bit of co-op added to it, a lot of strategy and a lot of technique, then For Honor is for you.